Good shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the RWDUIT Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Hockey fans around 16 Mile Creek have waited 9 years to hear it. Your Oakville Blades, OJHL Buckland Cup champions.
Well, round one of the OJHL playoffs concluded last week, and a #1 seed has fallen. All the highlights are coming right up. This is the OJ Today. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Alex Bastivansky, and there's a ton to cover this week. Alex Bloomfield is going to join me later on in the show to break down what happened in the first round and to help preview round two. But first, game highlights. And, you know, as we mentioned last week, nobody was giving the North York Rangers a chance against the Toronto Junior Canadiens in the South Division semifinal. The JRCs, after all, were the #1 seed and ranked as one of the top junior teams in all of Canada, while North York is in a rebuild and were happy just to make the playoffs. But last Wednesday, the Rangers, incredibly, found themselves up 3-0 in the series with a chance to sweep on home ice. Game highlights now brought to you by BioSteel. BioSteel, the official isotonic beverage of the OJHL. 32 points separated these two teams in the regular season standings, yet North York had the Canadiens on the brink of elimination. The JRCs would have to dig deep to stay alive, and right from the start, they controlled things. 7:35 in, Matt O'Brien makes it 1-0 Canadiens, and then
Clark, with just 3 minutes left to go, skates his way inside the zone. Played 3 years, make them move around Paloy. Stuffs it home. What a goal by CJ Clark. Dances around Victor Paloy and goes roof daddy.
CJ Clark with one of the goals of the year to make it 2-0. Second frame, Ryan Taverberg, the future Harvard man, makes it 3-0 JRCs. Third period, they weren't letting up. Ryan Patosia bangs it home to make it 4-0. As the Junior Canadiens live to fight another day as they drop North York 6-1 in Game 4. Okay, Whitby was another team on the ropes, trailing 3-0 to Trenton. The Hawks strike first. Cameron Gaylor out front. Waits Connor McKenzie and slides it over the line to make it 1-0. Whitby evens it up on a beauty by Oliver Tarr. Dipsy Doodle Dandy past Anand Oberoi to tie it up. Second stanza, Carson Whitson off to the races, and he will deke out Oberoi to make it 2-1 for the Fury. With the score tied 2-2, Michael Andrews, the gorgeous setup for Carson Whitson, his second of the contest. They hold on for the 5-3 win, and they said afterwards they had no choice but to let it all hang out.
I think being down 3-0, you know, you get that kind of desperate mentality, and the record shows like teams play better when their backs against the wall, and we're a resilient group.
Unfortunately for Aaron and his mates, they ran out of gas in Game 5 with the Hawks leading 3-2 in the second. Adam Kim gives his boys some extra insurance, and they would actually go on to add 2 more as they knock off a game but overmatched Whitby squad 4-1 to advance. Okay, this turned out to be the best series of the first round. Collingwood and Stouffville. This was Game 5. First period, Matt Zebedee strikes first for the Colts, getting tippy with it out front. And take another look. Great camera work from Joe Montesano of Fedora Films there. 1-0 for Collingwood. Bailey Kerwin responds for Stouffville. Does he ever? Turning Owen Ledwell inside out and beating Andrew Rose. What a rush. So they were all tied up 1-1. 3 minutes later, Jamie Mazomenos shows off some soft hands of his own, and he will go roof daddy past Rose. And the Spirit take the lead 2-1. Now, Collingwood goes on the power play, though. Eric Lalonde hits Peyton Shaley, who hits the back of the net behind Damon Beaver. All tied up 2-2 after 20 minutes of play. Second frame, the Spirit regain the advantage. Tanner McEachern beats Rose. And it was 3-2 after 40 minutes, but in the third, the home side squares it again. Damon Beaver can't handle the shot. Landis Antonik says thank you, ties it. They were off to overtime.
Gets in the battle at the side of the goal, tries to pull out in the front. They whack away at the side at the top of the crease, off the lane, they score! Shaley has put it in and given Collingwood a 4-3 victory off a surprising scramble in front.
Okay, the league named its first team All-Stars, brought to you by Warrior Hockey, the official hard goods supplier to the OJHL. And on that team, from the Oakville Blades, of course, Harrison Israels, who shared the OJ point scoring lead this year with 86 points. He's been Mr. Everything for the Blades. And from the 99ers, the man who shared that point scoring lead with Israels, Kyle Ballers, who accounted for the majority of Brantford's offense this season. Also from the St. Mike's Buzzers, it is Jonah Alexander, 78 points on the season for the Double Blue. He's led them into the second round of the postseason. From the Dukes, Quinn Hanna, the leading scorer for all D-men in the OJ this season with 57 points. He gets the nod, and his East counterpart, Sam Duchesne, 55 points for the Golden Hawks, and the team captain was a dominant force for the Jayhawks this year. And in goal, it had to be Nathan Torkia of the Georgetown Raiders. Without him, Georgetown doesn't sniff the playoffs. They had such a difficult time scoring goals this season. Nathan was just out of this world. And a reminder, OJHL.ca to get the full list of All-Stars. This portion of the OJ Today is brought to you by Q-Collar, official safety partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Hey, welcome back to the OJ Today. You know, not much separated the Stouffville Spirit and Collingwood Colts this year. In fact, it came down to the final game of regular season play between the two to decide who would end up with home ice advantage in round one. The Colts took that game, meaning if it was to end up going 7 games, Eddie Bush Memorial Arena would be the setting. Stouffville was hoping they'd at least have the opportunity to get it that far, as they were trying to avoid elimination in Game 6 Sunday evening. Collingwood was looking to close it out on the road, but Stouffville had other ideas. Midway through the first period, Ryan Cutler getting the Spirits on the board first as he makes it 1-0. Just 33 seconds later, the Colts were chasing the Spirit all over the ice. Puck watching, nobody picks up Paulo Battistella, who's as wide open as a prairie field, and Paulo makes it 2-0. Stouffville, they weren't done. How good has Andre Anania been this year? 22 points for the rookie defenseman in the regular season, and look at that snipe as he makes it 3-0. And then
by Stefo, but the Colts now have a 2-on-1. Collingwood shot. Oh my! Windmill leather! Leave it to Beaver! What a save!
Windmill leather. Love it, Joe Montezano. Good call. Collingwood gets 2 back in the second. Rocco Testabezi knocks that one past Damon Beaver. And then soon after, it looks like it just kind of goes off his skates out front for his second one. He doesn't care. It's in. So 3-2 entering the third, but the Spirit will put this one away. Anthony Lamanna going top shelf, and cue the Bee Gees. Those Spirits are staying alive. They force Game 7 in Collingwood on the Monday night, which we will get to momentarily. But first, Coburg was also trying to stave off elimination against Wellington. Frank Fatucci will get the Dukes on the board first off the feed from Dylan Massey, and he makes it 1-0, but the Cats claw back in the second. Stephen McDonald chilling on the doorstep, and he bangs it past Matt Dunsmore to knot things up at 1 apiece. All Dukes in the third, though. Dawson Ellis floats one in from the point to give them back the advantage. And then Ben Addison will hold and rip it behind Dershan Stewart. They would continue to pad their lead after that. Wellington really looking like the #1 seed. They earned out east as they sweep Cobourg 4 straight and advance to face the Golden Hawks. Burlington down 3-2 in Buffalo to face the Sabres, and right from the start, Buffalo was just all over them. Tyler Kelly backhands it past Max Wright to give the home side the early lead. And then Leo Bax does all the heavy lifting here. Wright stops him, but Alex Stinnis pokes on the rebound. 2-zip Sabres at the break. Second stanza, again, Max Wright making the initial stop, but again, the Sabres jumping on the rebound. Nolan Gorick makes it 3-0 for the American side. Final score was 4-2. That's how the series ended up as well. As for the second year in a row, Buffalo eliminates the Burlington Cougars. Could the Canadians avoid elimination for the second straight game? Game 5 now versus the Rangers. NYR drawing first blood. Adam Panacci crushing the point shot, making it 1-0 for the visitors. The JRC's answer, Ryan Teverberg sitting out front. He will wrist it past James Gray, and it's all tied up at 1 apiece. Back came the Rangers, though. Miles Perry putting them back up. They lead 2-1, and then it's North York on the power play. And Mr. Perry, again, working his magic, and he makes it 3-1 after 20 minutes of play. Second frame, the Rangers just completely knocked the wind out of the Canadians. Aiden Parekh with the point shot to make it 4-1. Last call for the JRCs in the third period. They needed something big to happen. They have some hope when Connor LePage bangs one past James Gray to cut it to 4-2. But Gray was just a rock the rest of the way, turning aside numerous Toronto chances to keep their advantage at 2 goals. And then Miles Perry adds an empty netter to seal the deal, and he gets his hat trick in the process with that tally. The Rangers shocked the Canadians, who were ranked in the top 20 in Canada this year. They take them down in 5 games to advance. So here was Game 7 for all the marbles between Stouffville and Collingwood. Eddie Bursch Arena had over 1,000 fans on hand, and early on, they had a lot to cheer about. Tyler Ignazito bangs it home, and the Colts were up 1-0, but the Spirits, they proved to be road warriors, definitely. In the second period, Tanner McEachern grabs his first of the contest, and that evens things up at 1 apiece. And then it's going to be Tanner again here soon after on the power play. A nice puck movement by the Spirits, and McEachern is going to go hard to the net and just will it past Andrew Rose. Love that net cam. Very nice. Stouffville took a 1-goal advantage into the third period of play, where it was all up to Damon Beaver to hold the fort as he's done all season long for Stouffville. Big saves. In the dying seconds, Connor May just kind of swipes it into the empty net right there. It's actually his first goal of the series, believe it or not. The Spirits pull off a massive win on the road in Collingwood, and they advance to face Pickering in the second round. Okay, the OJHL announced their top goaltender winner, and it's Andrew Rose of those Collingwood Colts. This is awarded to the goalie with the lowest goals against average in the league, and his was 1.77. Congratulations, Andrew. And just a reminder, for all the latest OJHL news, stats, and awesome stories by their feature writers, and of course to keep up to date on all the playoff matchups, be sure to head to ojhl.ca, the official league website. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Troy Hockey. Troy, the official apparel provider to the OJHL. Hey, welcome back to the OJ Today. Joining me now is my co-host on the CHCH Game of the Week broadcast, Alex Bloomfield. And today is going to help me break down what happened in the first round of play and preview what's coming up in the division finals. Alex, welcome back.
Glad to be here, and looking forward to the Elite Eight. The Elite
Eight it is, yeah. And I mean, for the most part, and I say for the most part because there were no real surprises, huge surprises in the first round, except, of course, in the South Division, where the #1 seeded Junior Canadians get dropped by the rebuilding North York Rangers. I mean, in 5 games. Let's go through the South. That shocker, and then plus, of course, the Patriots getting swept by the Buzzers in 4 straight games. I don't think the Buzzers winning was exactly a shock, but in 4 straight games, that certainly was.
Yeah, the surprising South absolutely is what you go with here in this division. Really interesting series was that Junior Canadians Rangers one going into it, because neither team was playing any interesting games for about 2 or 3 weeks down the stretch of the season. Both were pretty much locked in their positions. They knew they were going to play each other. I think it was the first series set or close to it anyway. So cruising in, I think that backfired a bit on the Junior Canadians. They didn't come out that slow. This series was won in Game 1 and Game 2. The 2 overtime games. Game 1 where it was just a back and forth goaltenders duel, and then the Rangers come out on top. They get the break in that one. And then Game 2, I mean, Mattiacci gets pulled in the second period, the 4 goals by the Rangers, and they come back in that game, get another overtime shocker shorthanded, and that you're not coming back from that for a down 2-0 to 2 overtime heartbreakers like that. So that was what did it for the Rangers, I think. And yeah, the Junior Canadians, just a nationally ranked team bowing out in the first round. Doesn't happen every day. Credit to James Gray and Eli Schiller for the Rangers as well. They split duties goaltending wise in a series they won in 5 games. That doesn't happen very often. Able to do that well. So that's interesting going forward for North York. That other series, I was on the Buzzers from about mid-January, winning that first round against the Patriots. I think a lot of people were. Yeah. I did think it was going to be relatively quick. The Patriots, they just couldn't recover. Mid-December, the confidence. I just spoke to Mark Joslin in that series. I think February is when I spoke to him, and even then they hadn't recovered that confidence they had at the beginning of the season. So yeah, it was just 2 teams going in opposite directions. The Buzzers are a tight group, and they get a win there.
Yeah, agreed. In the East Division, nothing to see here. Move along, please, folks. Trenton, Wellington do exactly what was expected of them, and they advance in convincing fashion. Trenton over Whitby in 5, while Wellington sweeps Cobourg.
Yeah, not a lot to say on this one, honestly. It was just, these were the ones that I think most people, if you picked Whitby or Cobourg, man, you were going out on a limb in this one. Vegas would have paid you, I guess. But and Andrew Suriath, I got a shout out to him for Trenton, the veteran who got 5 goals. He's tied for the goal scoring playoff lead to the first round. That's really good to see for that veteran who hasn't been necessarily the highest producer of goals over his career. So he comes through there in the first round for Trenton. That was solid. To go to Whitby for taking a game. And for those Cobourg Cougars going out, I mean, they weren't expected to do anything in that series against the Mighty Dukes, but I do like what they have next season. They were kind of roster restricted for most of this year. It was a bit of an awkward start to the season for them. I like Dave DeMarinis taking over there for next year.
Awesome. Let's head to the Northwest Conference then. And in the West Division, Oakville takes out Brantford in 4 straight games. Again, I mean, I'm not really surprised by the win. Just I thought the 99ers might take at least a single game. And Burlington and Buffalo, Buffalo in 6 games, 2 very evenly matched teams there.
Yeah, the Oakville series, Brantford, their explosive top line just didn't carry it for them in this one. They had a great power play during the season, but they went 1 for 20 in this series. Kyle Bowlers was held to just the 1 goal, so the defense of Oakville really won out here against that top line, which was good for Brantford all season long. So they really couldn't get anything going there. So really, Oakville was, they were expected to win that series. They did it very efficiently, which I think they needed to do to prepare for this next round, knowing their 2 opponents were going to beat each other up. As we saw. So Buffalo, Burlington, what a series. Buffalo in 6 games there. That was I think a little bit of a surprise to some people, but it's just, it wears you down to go down to the U.S. Buffalo's used to it. They do it all season long. Burlington got caught down there in Game 3, that 8-2 loss, 5 goals in the second period. I think that really takes a lot out of a team in a swing game like Game 3 as well. So that was a big one for Buffalo, I think. And obviously, they've really developed up front. Costantini up there has really proven he's a lead scorer in this league.
Absolutely, yeah. And finally, we got 2 minutes left, so let's cover the North. Pickering takes on the winners of the Northwest crossover game, the Georgetown Raiders. 4 straight. Pickering takes it, and that to me, that was a shocker. Not the Pickering one, but again, they did it in 4 straight. But the Raiders, simply put, they just could not muster any offense. And at Collingwood versus Stouffville, they were so close all season long, these 2 teams, and we knew we would likely go 6 or 7 games, which it ended up doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Those North Division series, is that the Pickering-Georgetown one, I mean, I got to witness a lot of that one. Might have been the worst series to witness, honestly, in the first round. I mean, if you like honestly, it wasn't even defense. It wasn't even fantastic goaltending. It was good goaltending, but it was really just a lot of neutral zone play. Neither team really generating much, and then Pickering getting a couple goals. And it was baffling to me watching Georgetown. They almost like they got worse throughout the series. Offensively, they produced nothing. The games. There was a 46-save shutout for Brendan Bonello in Game 2. That was an excellent effort from him. But besides that, the other 3 games, he let in 3 goals all series, so it's a great stat line. It's fantastic. Yeah. But he didn't play amazing. I mean, there were the scoring chances that Georgetown put on him, maybe 5 a game sometimes. It was incredible. Yep. They really couldn't generate much. Pickering walks over there pretty much untouched. And that'll bode well. Again, similar situation as Oakville has. They know these other guys are going to beat each other up. And that's what happened. Collingwood, Stouffville, a long series. As we expect, Connor May a bit disappointing in the opening of that series for Stouffville, just generating 1 goal in the first 6 games. So it's a long series that benefits Pickering and getting out quickly against Georgetown.
Excellent, my friend. Stick around, because when we come back to the next segment, we're going to preview the division finals. So more OJ today coming up. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotiabank, the official bank of the OJHL. Hey, welcome back to the OJ Today. Alex Bloomfield continues to join me now as we preview the matchups in the division finals. And let's start out East, Bloomy. This is truly the Titanic tilt that everyone has been waiting for. Wellington against Trenton. It's really just a shame that one of these teams has to be eliminated in only the second round of play. But give us your thoughts on the marquee matchup.
Yeah, it's not often we see 2 nationally ranked teams meet in the second round here. So, it is a difficult one, that's for sure. I think we're all prepared for it, though. We had pretty much the entire season to prepare for this series. Both these teams did as well. They definitely were looking at each other. I do think Wellington is the better team. They did win the season series by a couple of games. A lot of overtime games, though, mixed in there. They're just a bit more depth, a bit more all the way through, especially on the back end, I think, when you get down to the lower pairs. So I do like the Wellington Dukes in this series, just going head-to-head. It's going to come down probably to home ice here a bit. I do see Wellington being a better team to steal one in Trenton than the other way around. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I mean, what can you say about these 2 teams?
It's so close to each other. The crowds are going to be great as well for these big crowds. No question about it. So your pick then, sir, to take this series, who are you taking?
Wellington in 6.
Wellington in 6. I'm going to do mine as well. I'm also taking the Dukes in 6. So we're in lockstep on that one. Let's move to the South Division. I mean, how do I put this? Who would have called this matchup even like a month ago? The Patriots and the Junior Canadians, I think, were obviously the sexy pick. Everyone thought it was going to be that, but no. It's St. Mike's against the upstart number 4 seeded North York Rangers. Take us through this one.
Yeah, like I said, I have liked St. Mike's pretty much since I saw them in Pickering earlier in the season. And they're just a really well-run team. They're a full unit up and down. They're all bought into the same system. They're very efficient. And down the stretch of the year, they were good. They were one of the better teams in the second half of the year, just quietly going about their business. They caught up to the Patriots almost by the end of the season, who had that fantastic start. And then they rolled over them, as I expected they would. And this top line they have now that the Junior Canadians are out of the way, I don't think they're going to be stopped by the North York Rangers. I think North York would have had a better opponent had it been potentially the Patriots in the second round, or a team like that. The St. Mike's are so disciplined. They're not going to get rattled by an upstart team like the North York Rangers. Even if they lose one, they're going to come back out the next game, put a good effort out there. They're so disciplined as well, penalty-wise. They had 11 times shorthanded in that first round series. That was better than everyone by like 6 fewer than the next fewest team. So they're not going to give any power play opportunities to North York. I just think up and down, that top line, the Martino and the 2 Alexanders, you can't really, that's up there amongst the league. And sort of top 3 scorers. And you got Lorick and Labora. That's a solid backhand tandem with the goaltender. So, yeah, I like St. Mike's in this series. North York, I talked a lot about St. Mike's there. I know we got to get to it, but North York, good on them too. But I think this is the end of their run. Yeah, and I mean, great job by Coach Jeff Smogly with that squad in a rebuilding year. But you're and how many games you're taking St. Mike's? I'll go in 5.
You going 5? Okay, I'm going to go 6 actually because I like the I like the effort North York has shown all season long. 2:30. So let's move quickly here. Out west, no shock that the Oakville Blades will be there, the defending Buckland Cup champions. They've just been so dominant all season long. But I think we can agree that they'll be presented a lot more of a challenge, pushed a lot more in round 2 than they were in round 1. The Buffalo Junior Sabres played Oakville tough all season long. The Blades won the season series 4-2, but this is going to be a battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely will. Oakville benefits with the sweep in that first round. I really think they needed to do that. That really helps them out. It's going to be a grind in this series for both teams, but Buffalo is, I mean, they've been through the ringer with that series against Burlington. There was a feisty series as well. Lots of penalty minutes in that series, so they're coming in a little bit beat up, though happy and, with a lot of momentum in one sense. But I think Oakville has just too much depth. They'll be able to win all those games on home ice, on that big ice surface. Buffalo's already a tired team, but I do think they'll take a few games in this series. I could see it. Wouldn't be surprised at all if Buffalo does come out on top. But I think the Oakville Blades are going to be too much for the Junior Sabres in this one.
I agree. How many games do you think?
I actually am going to go 7 with this one. I think Buffalo is going to really hang around, but Oakville is going to win out in the end. Just too tired at the end for Buffalo.
I'm taking Oakville in 6. Finally, we've got just over a minute. So the North Division, your Pickering Panthers, you know so very well as their play-by-play announcer. Incredible season they've had. Number 1 seed in the division. They blew away Georgetown in 4 straight games, and they will now be in the North Final, and it should be a fantastic series.
It should be indeed. Their power play was lights out, 41% in the first round. What they need to improve is scoring even strength. I mean, they only had 6 goals in that first series over 4 games. Even strength, that's not enough. Bonello is fresh, which is ideal. So yeah, they're going to be a formidable opponent for anyone just waiting for as long as they have. And they do match up pretty well against the entire North Division all season long. Yeah, and the Stouffville Spirit, they've been a thorn in the Panthers' side over the past couple of seasons at different times. So they could do some damage here, but I don't think enough depth to take down the Panthers.
And you're picking that series, Alex?
I'll go Pickering in 5.
Okay, I'm going to take the Panthers as well, but I'm going to take them in 6 games. Awesome stuff, man. Always love getting your expertise. And we're going to have you on again, obviously, later on in the playoffs. But thank you so much for doing today, and we'll chat later on.
Yeah, looking forward to the next round.
And that's it. We are all out of time for today. But just a reminder, all throughout the playoffs, to keep up to date on all the matchups, you can head to ojhl.ca. And, of course, all of your social media options are there for you to check out as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
A loose puck goes to Brown, whacked away from him into the empty nets. And May gets his first goal of the series, and it's the one that's going to wrap things up here in Game 7. 6.9 seconds remaining. Stouffville dumps the bench and heads to celebrate with Damon Beaver. Collingwood heading off into the offseason. Stouffville heading off into round number 2 against Pickering.